I'm Safie Russell from SDR Consulting, Inc., and we're here today on Business Basics Friday. The goal of this session is to provide some value to small business owners in the space of tax, accounting, and general business, and then have an open Q&A at the end.
Hello, everyone, and happy Friday to you all. I hope you had a great week. This is Safie Russell, founder and CEO of SDR Consulting, Inc. Welcome to Business Basics Friday. And if you're joining us here live, go ahead and share where you're joining in from, whether it be the East Coast, West Coast, wherever you are. If you can share where you're joining in from. I'm joining in from New York here today, and it is 61 degrees. Fall is here, unfortunately, but fortunately. So a little cooler here, but I'll take it because we're still here. So join in, go ahead and tell us where you're joining us from and what the temperature's looking like there today. And so a little bit about Business Basics Friday. It's a weekly session catered to providing valuable information to business owners. We have a variety of guest speakers that come in to help share information that can educate you in the many areas of your business that you may need to manage. This is strictly for informational purposes and education purposes, no client relationships being established, no legal advice or anything of that nature. As far as my background, I've been in the industry 20 years and I am a CPA and enrolled agent based here in New York, but we do service clients all over the US. And as far as SDR, we mostly work with business owners, especially those in the mental health profession, to help reduce their concerns regarding tax and accounting so you can focus on your clients as well as your own well-being. And so if you have questions today, if you're here in Clubhouse or Facebook Live, go ahead and put them in the chat or in the comments and we will go over them at the end. And so it's a pleasure to have our guest speaker here today. I want to thank Dr. Pope for taking the time out to meet with us today. So we have Dr. Gloria Pope joining us to cover how self-care supports business growth. So Gloria, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. I'm happy to be able to tune in today on this afternoon. I think these type of sessions are phenomenal for entrepreneurs because they give us all the opportunity to learn something new. I tune in to sessions like this all the time because you never know what you can actually gain from someone else's perspective as well as their experience. So a little bit about me. My name is Dr. Gloria Pope, fondly known as Dr. Glow. I talk about the Dr. Glow brand all the time. And I am the CEO of Black Girl Everything, where I promote and support Black women-owned businesses. I am also the CEO of the Daisy Dream Project, where that's my nonprofit that focuses a lot on children with differing abilities, as well as community advocacy. And especially a larger focus, even so, on maternal health. So I'll probably mention some of those things as I go through my presentation today. My big thing I'm talking about is self-care for entrepreneurs. We work so hard day by day, moment by moment, second by second. As an entrepreneur, you are constantly working. It doesn't matter what lane you're in, if it's in education, if you are doing hair, if you or just created a new industry that nobody knows about. Like you're taking car tires and building swings, and that's your business. It doesn't matter what it is, you're constantly working. Even in your sleep, I've had nights where I wake up 3 o'clock in the morning and I've created new ideas, right? So when are we taking time for self? And I find that productivity is always affected by how much we care for ourselves physically, emotionally, how we nutritionally, as well as even our connections with other humans within our network. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we can do as entrepreneurs to make sure we're supporting ourselves and so we don't experience that awful feeling of burnout, or we don't feel as if our creativity is being stunted because we're so exhausted, right? So there's 3 things that I focus on a lot when it comes down to my self-care routine as an organization. But I have to focus hard on my organization. As I mentioned, that I'm the CEO of Black Girl Everything, which is a full-fledged business that I host events nationally. I'm also a published author. I'm constantly traveling, constantly on podcasts like this one today, as well as the Daisy Dream Project, where a lot of my community advocacy comes in. But on top of that, I still also work for Destination Tomorrow, where I'm the Director of Educational Enrichment nationally in between their New York office and their Atlanta office. And then I run an early childhood program in Mount Vernon, which is the Colin Island Child Development Center. So you see, even with all those different things under the Dr. Glow brand, it can seem like a lot. So how do you, or people ask me all the time, how do I take care of myself? How do I focus? How do I get things done? Right? And the art of getting it done it's a challenge and it can be hard, but I focus on these three things. My first thing is self. It's the first thing I'm talking about lies of self. I really focus on me, my well-being. I am my first priority before anything and everybody else. Because if I'm not putting myself first, then I can't be good for anybody, my businesses, my family, or anything of that nature. My next thing that I talk a lot about for myself is a family. We all want to love and we need to feel loved. So how do we do that? People always say, you know, date yourself and take yourself out and do all these great things. That's wonderful. But connections with your family is even better. And I'm talking about even people, not even maybe the ones who you were born into, but who are your selected family that you enjoy spending time with? And finding time to spend time with them was ultimately going to improve everything for you. And lastly, my third thing that I focus a lot on is community. The more you give to others and that feeling of reward, the more it's going to come back to you. So we all, as entrepreneurs, ultimately, you have started it because you cared about some type of a community. If it's either with Black Girl Everything is Black women-owned businesses, with the Daisy Dream Project, it's parents, it's teachers, it's community, it's advocacy, it's children with IEPs and IFSPs. So there's markets that I tend to. No one starts a business without actually tending to a market. And that's what I mean by community. So what are you doing for your community within your business? And how does that look? And even when you're creating your products or you're creating your experiences, you're still providing for the network of individuals that you're working with, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So let me back up. One of the key things that you can focus on when you're dealing with as an entrepreneur is the concept of dealing with frustration. Frustration happens all the time. It doesn't matter. It's if you had this great idea and you can't figure out the time to get it done, or you're stuck in a different area where you're not moving anymore, your products aren't selling, you're not gaining new clients, you're not being productive, and you know your business isn't operating at its best self. Right? Because the business itself is its own entity. So then you start feeling frustrated. And frustration can be very paralyzing where you do nothing at all. So instead of finding or making a plan to move forward, you just stand still and you don't move. And then goals just kind of just float in the sky. They float in your walls, they float in your calendars, they float in your phone, they float in conversations, but you realize nothing's not getting done. The first thing you need to do is step back into your power. You have the power to accomplish anything and everything that you want to do. And again, look at me, the Dr. Glow brand. I have multiple businesses and I operate under multiple other organizations, all on the same day. And I actually only step out of my house because I have to about 4 days a week. I have 3-day weekends every single weekend to spend time with my family. So it can be done, right? Where I'm able to function, get all these great things done, feed my community, feed my family, feed myself and my own self-accomplishments, but I still have time. Because all those things, and it doesn't matter, time is a construct, right? And we are able to organize and figure out how we can maneuver our time so we can be most effective. So yes, I'm a major scheduler. I schedule everything. I schedule walks for myself. I schedule timeouts for myself. I schedule spa days for myself. I schedule journal writing for myself. And I commit to these schedules because this is what keeps me at my best self and me operating at my highest potential. Right? So when I don't feel those levels of frustration, because I'm constantly journaling about what frustrated me in the day. Okay. I'm writing about what bothered me, what I didn't accomplish in the day, and how that actually made me feel. And then once I get those feelings out on a piece of paper, I close the book, boop, and it's gone. The feelings, the emotions, the emotional frustration and being overwhelmed, it just poof, it doesn't exist anymore. Right? So journaling is one of the key options that I always suggest to even clients who I'm coaching, because I'm also a coach as well, is that I talk a lot about journaling and journaling the good, journaling the bad, journaling what you think you want to accomplish, journaling your new goals, journaling the goals that you had 15 years ago that you didn't accomplish and you want to revisit them. Write about it, talk about it, put it out in the universe and ask for the vision, because the universe will always answer you back. You just have to be there to listen. It might be with someone coming in your way. It might be you finally seeing some random video that pops up, because our phones are always listening to us, and you can find the random video that's going to pop up with information that you need. It's going to come to you. Just ask the universe for what you want and what you need to feel more successful. Okay. Another thing, people say, self-care, say, I'm gonna go to the spa. If your business is not generating what you need as an entrepreneur, or with this current economy being what it is, where a lot of us are sitting here just making ends meet, especially if you're a smaller business, right? Where you might have an employee, or just if you have an employee's only employee you have is yourself, which is a lot of organizations, especially as we noticed after COVID during 2020, there was an explosion of organizations and new businesses came out where they have one person, just the CEO, and it's just them. Right? So they can't delegate or put out responsibilities. So self-care is essential for you individuals who are operating that way. So you may not be able to afford to do everything, but you can afford to take time out of your day every day to spend 10 minutes in the sun. Vitamin D and sunlight is so clearing. It is everything you need to maintain your health. If you're not going outside every day because you're just trapped inside, you're doing yourself a complete disservice. And the sun is free currently. It's free to get sunlight. Go outside. And it doesn't mean to be 10 minutes of your day to schedule it out. Even if you're eating your lunch outside, even if you're working a little bit outside, just be outside every single day. Even when it's cloudy, you're actually still getting sun rays. You may not realize it, but you are. Get outside on a continual basis. Bring it, maybe your journaling is outside every day. Fresh air does a body good. Walk more. We all have this, not enough time. This is enough time for you to step outside your office and walk around the block while you get your sun. Get the oxygen, especially if you're feeling your creativity stunted and you're not moving and things aren't getting anywhere. Start moving your body, and I guarantee your brain is going to work better. We can't sit still. People think, well, I'm going to stick in my office for 4 hours straight. I'm going to pound this out in the library for 6 hours straight. I'm going to sit here and hide, and I'm just going to sit and sit and sit and sit. You're actually not going to get much done because your body's exhausted and your body's not moving. Your brain is a muscle. It needs to move. It needs fresh oxygen. You have to get out. You have to move around. Even if you're walking outside and you're dictating into your phone a new idea. I'm not saying don't work while you're doing some of these things, but just do these things while you work. I have a habit, especially when I'm in my school, I do a lot of stand up at my computer. So to make sure I'm not sitting as often. I stand up at my desk to get work done, to stand up a lot, move around a lot, put timers on my phone. So I'm walking through my schools a lot on a consistent basis. So I'm not sitting down as much. The more my body's moving, the more my body is pumping, the more creative I'm going to be. I promise you, it works. Music works. If you feel you're not being creative, put on your most, I'm gonna say your most jamming type of song. It doesn't matter what it is. You're from Megan to Stylin to Jill Scott to Daft Punk, whomever you listen to, whomever you're interested in listening to, whatever music talks to your soul that gets you hyped when you feel like you're stuck. Get hyped, get up, dance in the middle of your office, dance in the middle of your home, just move, get hyped. Okay, now I'm good. I'm gonna get back to work. Because that's going to reinvite your body to have that energy that you need. And those are all free things I just mentioned to you that you can do in regard to self-care. Those are all free things that all it takes is just you to have the initiative to focus on, you know what, let me take care of myself for 5 minutes. Let me listen to my best song and let me not do anything. Let me just dance around a little bit. And then let me get restarted with my day. Okay. Then there's also the spa. The spa is great. I love the spa. Try to make sure I get there pretty often. Okay. And also family, scheduling time with family. A year ago when I was working, I was doing all these different things. I was just like, no, I want more of my time back. So I put a commitment. It was in March. I said, okay, in September, I'm not working Fridays anymore. I'm not going to go to school on Fridays anymore. I might take a meeting here and there, but 90% of my day is going to be spent in my house, doing whatever I would like to do, or spending time with my partner, or spending time with my children's school, volunteering, doing other things, spending time with my father, spending time with my mother. And that's what I did. September came, this June 15th came, and I was like, you know what? Forget September. I'm doing July 1st. So since July 1st, I stopped. So now I have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I only go if I really, really need to for like an hour and a half at one of my schools, if I really need to. And obviously 90% of the time I'm not needed, so I don't go. School still runs, all systems are in place, but I have this time to take care of things I need to take care of. Like speaking to, speaking to you individuals today who are tuning in. Thank you again for tuning in. Speaking to other podcasters about what they're doing with their businesses. Taking time to create in the quiet. while my 3-year-old is at school, you know, or my 16, my 17-year-old actually is also at school too during the day on Fridays. So I have space, having hot dates with my partner because our weekends we invest in our children, you know, or going to see my mom and my dad, or going to the gym with my father, you know, things like that. I connect with other humans, right? Because those connections matter. Those connections matter. I'm going to task you all with thinking, when was the last time you went on a date with one of your siblings, if you have one, or went on a date with one of your best friends, right? And not even necessarily to talk about business, to talk about what's going on, you know, what's going on with the weather, you know, we have what's going on with at home for you. How have things been? When have you taken time to do a check-in with somebody you care about? And that check-in could be only 30 minutes. It could be, hey, meet me at the corner and so, because I'm going to have 30 minutes before I have to arrive, and just have tea. And just sit outside in the fresh air in the sun and just talk with somebody you care about for 20 minutes. Those type of connections and those type of conversations is what's going to feed your soul, because we have to feed ourselves. We have to give ourselves opportunities and possibilities to be loved and cared for and communicated for. We all want to be loved. We're human beings. There's nobody who wants to actually be out here by themselves. Nobody does. So give yourself space and time to connect with other people. Even connecting with new people. Say you have a really small family, or you don't have, you know, the blessing like me. I have an amazing best friend group. There's literally like 10 of us, and we speak to each other every day. And I'm also the oldest of 15. So I have plenty of siblings to tap into to hang out with, right? So I have like 30 people that I really care about, past everybody in my network that I care about. But people you've done business with that you can relate to. Spend time with individuals. Find spaces where you can go to different meetups and meet new people and connect. You have to connect, and those human connections is what's going to help you thrive with your business overall. Community. Your network. What are you doing for your network and within your network? What are you doing to reach more of your market? How are you doing that? And all that matters within your self-care. Because I guarantee you, every entrepreneur out here, no one can sit here and say that if they like who Ms. Russell here, who does taxes and things of that nature. And when her clients come back the next year and they're doing better because they really took a look at their deductibles. They took a look at how they were spending their money. They took a look at how much money they really need to be put up because they learned from what she taught them the year before. That's a proud mama moment. And those are the moments when you're dealing with your clients that's going to feed you. So what are the opportunities that you're giving back to your community? Because remember, the more you give back to your community, the more your community is going to give back to you. And the more time that you share with your community, the more they're going to share with you. Like she does these beautiful sessions here at 12 o'clock on Fridays, which is giving out free business tips. That's giving to community. And that is what's rewarding. That's what matters. So if you're not getting that positive energy back, it's because you're not giving enough to your community. If your community is not, craving and clawing at you to get time with you, then you're not giving enough to them. You have to give your community something so they're eager and they want to connect, they want to vibe, they want to find out what's going on with you. Okay. And ultimately, as a business owner, we all know that profits are the only thing that really matters. I'm not going to sit here and try to say that give, but profits are the only thing that matter. And if you have a strong self-care routine where you are managing your time, you are connecting with yourself, you are connecting with family, or connecting with your community, I guarantee you profits are going to come because you're taking care of you. You're taking care of the closest people next to you who are going to take care of you. And then you're taking care of your community who's also going to take care of you. And that's how you really master self-care. That's how you really put yourself in a position to make sure that your business is growing and thriving in the direction that you need it to go. You have to take care of you first. You have to take care of your health. Health is wealth, eating well, even if it's not every day. Because I really love French fries. Not the best thing to eat all the time, but I have French fries once a week because that's something that I love to do. Okay. So I'm not saying snatch everything out that you love. Just do things in moderation and make sure you're balancing it out with all the other things, and drink plenty of water and get some sun. Okay. Entrepreneurs, we wear many of hats as parents, partners, business owners, siblings, daughters and sons. We are so many different things. And it's okay because you can be all those things and be great at the same time. Just give yourself grace when certain things don't get done. Reset yourself, recommit to the goal, and you'll get it taken care of. And that's what I got for you today in regards to self-care as an entrepreneur.
Wow. Speechless at the moment. Thank you so much, Dr. Glow, for that recap and the simplicity of those three things.
Yeah.
I can relate to all of them. And the best thing was that you gave suggestions for the most part that were free, right? Because most, like you said, most people automatically think self-care is going, getting your hair done in the spa and all that stuff is great. But when you're on a budget and you can't do those things, there's still other things you can do, and they're simple.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of mapping them out. And I can relate to the scheduling. I know that's not a strength of everyone, but depending on your personality, but it makes a difference.
It does.
Scheduling and setting timers to hold yourself accountable. Even like, if you have a watch that tells you you need to stand up, pay attention to it, right? Those things are important. And in implementing some of the things you've mentioned, I do feel a difference because, in my space, tax and accounting, we could sit for hours. People
Yeah.
could sit for 10 hours straight, which is not recommended, but there's that much work, right? But guess what? That work's going to be there tomorrow and the next day. And our bodies are not cut out for that, like you said. So how long can we sustain that? And so that was great information, and it can be applied to all different industries, which is what I love. What I like the most that you said out of everything was that connecting to humans, right?
Yeah.
Especially if depending on your profession, for me, most accountants are not here doing, lives every week in the middle of tax season with the deadline 15 days away, but guess what? I get fulfillment out of it, like you said, and I want to share, and I enjoy the teaching, and both my parents were teachers, so maybe that a little bit of that's in there, but
That's definitely playing a role.
yeah, I didn't want to do this traditional route, but I could see it kind of coming through now. But connecting to humans, having a lunch with a friend. I just had a lunch with a friend a couple days ago. In years we hadn't met, we, chatted by text, but that sit down, that 2-hour lunch, whatever it is, we're humans, we're not robots. And that connection makes a difference. It makes a difference. So that was great. And then, getting outside, right? We're in New York, it gets cold, but you need a little wake up, a quick run around the block with that 30-degree weather might help.
It definitely will.
Definitely would help. And then for me, also fitness, like you mentioned, health, like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, a stretch, something. It will do our body good physically, but it'll also help mentally. And we need to keep ourselves moving. So I want to definitely thank you, Dr. Glow, for sharing those tips that are definitely doable. I'm not seeing any questions yet. If anyone does have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the chat. And then I want to touch on one other thing, and if you want to add anything else, feel free. Music. So by nature, personality-wise, I'm a little bit more reserved, right? But then when music comes on, forget it. All that's out the window, right? So we all have our
Yes.
things, right? So I could relate to when you mentioned about putting on I have my playlists, right? So I have my like R&B, relaxing, and then I have my hip hop and pop music and reggaeton, all that stuff, and I'll put that stand-up desk on and get to moving, and go dance in the living room with my daughter or something like that. So whatever it is you like, maybe you play an instrument, maybe you like to run, but definitely the music makes a difference. There'll be times when I can't focus, too much going on, and I'll just pop some music on. And some people need peace and quiet, and there's times when I need that, but then there's times I just need that background music to keep the flow going. So these are all, realistic things that all of us can do, things that have helped me in my journey. And I know you've worked with a lot of business owners where you've helped them with that as well. And so thanks again for sharing that. Anything you want to add before we wrap up?
No, it's definitely about rest because, recovery is also really important. So, taking that time out. And I think when I was talking about the different things about standing up and sometimes it's sitting down and getting outside in that sun, it's all about recovery. And it's also giving your brain an opportunity to recover from what you're working on, because we have to rest, right? Sleep is important. Like you said, the work is still going to be there tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow's not the deadline because you've started early. But, sometimes we have to have those times when we cram for 24, 48, 72 hours.
Yeah.
But after that, you promise yourself that I'm not going to do nothing for 7 days.
Right.
I want to keep things out. I worked hard this summer. So I was like, end of August, I took my family to Mexico. I didn't turn my phone on for 6 days.
Wow.
Literally
Wow.
6 days.
Wow.
It was the best thing I've ever done in my whole life. 6 days. I turned it off, did not check and I'm big on social media, obviously, right? With Instagram and
Right.
everybody else. Like,
Right.
I turned my phone off, like, to take one picture. Like, nope, turn back off. Partner was like, oh, you're not going to use your phone for pictures? No, we have yours. We have yours. I'll take yours. Let's charge your phone.
Love it.
Because I don't want to talk to people. No,
Love it.
I just want to tune out,
Yeah.
But it was good for me because I came back and I was recharged.
Definitely. Definitely. That's important. Rest is
Mm-hmm.
key. And when you're in a deadline driven industry, there are going to be those times like,
Yeah.
I was up till 2:15 this morning. Still here today, but it's temporary for a period of time, a couple more days, and then start back up in a couple months. But we know what to expect. It's not like it's a surprise, and it is also about setting standards and boundaries, though, right? So my clients know this is my internal deadline. This may be the IRS deadline, but if you don't get your stuff to me this date, it's not going to get done on time. I'm not going to kill myself, my staff, because of procrastination. So definitely want to set boundaries as well. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's a good one. That's a good one. I like giving deadlines at least 30 days advance on everything because people love to procrastinate.
Yeah.
So you're constantly chasing people, which is a whole nother level of energy that you don't need to use.
Yeah.
You can use for something else, but other people don't think that way and they're not there yet.
Right.
It just takes working with certain individuals. Like, listen, you go ahead and miss this because you're going to miss out.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And saying no. That's the last thing I'll add. It's okay to say no. My example, can you do this return? Let me see what's going on. And no, it's not going to work out in the time frame it needs to be done. We can do it later, but in this time frame, for what I know it needs to get done, I have to say no. That money is not worth the headache. There'll be another customer or client that comes in the door.
Clearly. Or they're going to come back and realize, you know what? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Right. That too.
I got several penalties.
Right. Yeah, those penalties, we're in September 30th, 2022. October 17th is the deadline this year. And the penalties are steep. There's some penalty relief the IRS has, decided to grant us some people with from 2019 and 2020. So good thing for that, but that's not the norm. So in scheduling, we have to make sure we take care of our responsibilities, including our business, taking care of our business, running the business, and the self-care. So know your deadlines, know your self-care routine, journal, great idea on that as well. And let's close out this fourth quarter strong, right? With all those things. And yes. So Dr. Glow, it's been great having you today. I'm going to go ahead and close out with anyone who joined us in lately. This was a Business Basics Friday session. We're here usually every Friday, 12 o'clock Eastern, with a guest speaker to come in and cover something that can help business owners out there in the field in all different industries. And I'm Safie Russell, founder and CEO of SDR Consulting, Inc. I have a CPA, enrolled agent license, and a master's in tax, and I specialize in working with business owners, especially those in the mental health profession, regarding tax accounting and business consulting. And you can find me online at sdrconsultinginc.com, on social media at SDR Consulting, and by phone, the office number is 516-255-6603. So Dr. Glow, go ahead and share what you like at the end here as far as your information and how people can reach you.
Great. So again, I'm a Dr. Gloria Pope. You can find me at my website directly is www.blackgirleverythingllc.com. And that's my social media everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram is blackgirleverythingllc.com.
Perfect.
LLC.com. No, I just made that up. It's Black Girl Everything LLC.
They'll figure it out. And Dr. Pope, if you could share a little bit about, in all those different businesses, in terms of working with businesses and coaching, maybe you could share a little bit about what you offer there.
Yeah, so I definitely do one-on-one coaching sessions. Anybody who's interested, especially a Black woman-owned business, actually the special collective called the VIP Collective we partner in, where I do monthly coaching sessions as a group, which is actually really phenomenal. So I'm about building community. And I also do a lot of free marketing stuff for promo for your business when you're part of that entity. I host events often. I have my Buy Black on Friday event on November 25th. And I have my first fundraiser for the Daisy Dream Project on the 21st, because I'm looking to open a sensory gym. And I'm also currently working on opening the first Powered by Black Girl Everything store.
Nice.
That's coming later on this fall.
Awesome. And like you said, don't know how you manage it all, but you do, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So looking
A lot
forward.
of fun.
Looking forward to more to come. And thanks again for taking the time out today. Everyone, enjoy your weekend. Get some self-care in this weekend. Get refreshed. And we will not be here next Friday. We will be taking that Friday off. So I'll be back the following Friday, I believe so, with the deadline coming up. But stay tuned for the next date and title. And also feel free to check out the podcast for previous episodes for the audio version, as well as on the Facebook page at SDR Consulting. You will find all the previous episodes of Business Basics Friday. All right, everyone, take care and thanks again. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.